Guys, howdy, Bitcoin with Dinny, and it's Dinny here, just checking in, give you a little message. Mt. Gox have created Millionaires, and you should copy them, you should learn about what's happening. So the Mt. Gox was a crypto exchange way back in the early days, one of the first huge crypto exchange. It was holding over 3/4 of the Bitcoin supply at one stage, and it was hacked, and in 2014 it paused withdrawals. Okay, and that's what I want to talk about briefly. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Dinny from Bitcoin with Dinny. We're Ireland's first Bitcoin consulting company. We're into our 5th year now. 5 years, I can't believe it every time I say it, of helping people to understand Bitcoin, to custody their Bitcoin correctly, and to help them to use it, to build plans to retire early. And if you need help with any of that, check out bitcoinwithdinny.com. Nothing you hear is financial advice. We aren't financial advisors. We're just Bitcoiners. We're just people who understood early what this thing was and how to use it to give up work. Or to do less work and have more time to enjoy the fun things in life. So with Bitcoin, with all investments, I've been an investor for over a decade, and I've made all the mistakes, thankfully, and learned all the lessons along the way to now understand how to do it correctly. And where most people go wrong with investing is that they try to solve their problem too quickly, or they don't have the patience, or they don't have the discipline. And discipline is probably one of the most important characteristics a human can have. If you want to have success in anything, the more disciplined person will do better than the less disciplined person. And with investing, it's so true. And having a lack of discipline with investing punishes people. And that's why in crypto, majority of people, like I'm in the space, we've literally consulted with hundreds of people, and through our Retire Early Club, our online program, where we've 300 students now in a year's course with us. But through all the programs of meeting people, it's a lot of people don't have the discipline or don't have the education and therefore they make mistakes and they get it wrong. Obviously, once they come into us or they come and consult with us, we show them the error of their ways and we correct all that, and then they start to get it right. But when left to their own accord and to do it on themselves and to DIY it or watch a bit of YouTube and try and figure out what's going on, generally people screw up. But we can learn a really cool lesson from what happened with Mt. Gox. So Mt. Gox paused withdrawals in 2014. Mt. Gox have recently started to redistribute the Bitcoin, and it has been paused for a decade. Okay, so those people who are caught up in this bankruptcy or this hack, who had their funds on Mt. Gox, and again, this is why at Bitcoin with Dinny we teach you how to be sovereign and to control your Bitcoin, so that you don't have to leave it with a counterparty. Okay, nor do you have to put it on a hardware wallet and keep that in your house, because that's insanity. If it's too risky, you wouldn't keep 10 grand in your house. Why would you keep 10 grand worth of Bitcoin in your house? Not a smart move. You don't need to do that. You can be much more secure. You can have these things time locked, and that's why I think everyone should have their Bitcoin custodied. So the Mt. Gox creditors were forced to hodl Bitcoin for one whole year. 1 year. Okay? And then they were forced to hodl it for 9 more. I meant to say 10 years. So they were forced to hold their investment for 10 years. Now, most investors, they want to solve their money problems quickly. Bitcoin isn't a get rich quick. I say this in almost every video. But it is a way to retire early. Okay? And a lot of our customers have achieved that. Some of them are on the way to achieving it. And anyone who creates and respects and understands Bitcoin and uses it correctly will retire themselves early. Okay? So the lesson we can learn is the fact that those customers who were using Mt. Gox had to go through a bankruptcy. They're all millionaires, and some of them are multimillionaires. Why? Because they were forced to hold their Bitcoin. You see, people think it's about getting into Bitcoin early and discovering at a cheap price, and that's not true at all. Because I've people who are into Bitcoin since it was under $100, €100, €1,000, under 1,000, under 10,000. So many people I meet, none of them are millionaires, none of them are wealthy, none of them retired early. Why? Because of the decisions they took and the action they took and the mistakes they made. So it's not about the price that you're able to get Bitcoin for. It's how you use Bitcoin will dictate if you're going to retire early or not. Okay, most people will come into crypto and they get involved in crypto and they get rich quick, and they remember we had Safe Moon and everyone was going on about Safe Moon, and then we had Luna. You know, I know people today who are absolute Bitcoin maxis, but they were mad into Luna and they lost their shirt on that, and that was a great lesson to them. Okay, they lost a load of money, and then they pivoted and they actually started to do it correctly and they learned lessons. But by being forced to hold their Bitcoin for 10 years, these people went from whatever their net worth was, 50 grand, to now they're multimillionaires. This is the power of investing. Okay? If you can create for yourself a decade plan, a 10-year strategy. Anyone can change their financial situation. I know that to be true because I've done it myself, and I've done it without having the use of Bitcoin, because I didn't understand Bitcoin back then. The old-fashioned way of just creating businesses and helping people. But it took me 10 years to go from living in a caravan broke to, having enough of a portfolio to go, okay, this is enough money for me to live the life I want to live. And now I get to work for fun. I get to work on things I'm passionate about because I want to, not because I have to, which is an amazing place to be. And it's really empowering. And it feels really good to have gotten to that place. So everyone can get there in 10 years. In fact, with Bitcoin, you can possibly get there a lot quicker. But I like to teach everyone in our Retirely Club, in our courses, it's a decade plan. Think of this in decades. Okay? So you can understand, although at the time in 2014, these people were like, oh my God, I've lost all my Bitcoin, I'm stuck. Well, now they were forced to hodl Bitcoin through all the FUD, through all the times Bitcoin was going to zero. And there was many of them, many times we thought Bitcoin was going to zero. Is my Wi-Fi on? No, it's not. Turn the Wi-Fi on there, Dinny. Might get a better connection. The beauty of it. So the bankruptcy has actually made these people really wealthy. And that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of the forced hodl. That's why we call it hodl, hold on for dear life. But these people didn't have to hold on for dear life because they didn't get a choice. So what I'd say to you is create a decade plan, learn from Mt. Gox people. They had small money, now they have very large money. All they did is nothing. They didn't have a choice to sell their Bitcoin. The mistake everybody makes is they sell their Bitcoin too soon. You shouldn't sell your Bitcoin until you've hit your financial goals. Okay? Guys, do me a favor, give the like button a nice little press, and social media will show you more of this content if you like it. I've got some more news coming, but I'm just in the office here today, in between clients, and I'm going to pop off now and just get ready for my next meeting. Good to see you all. Hope you have a super, what day I say? Tuesday. Have a super Tuesday, guys. Dinny out for now. Do what Mt. Gox does. Force yourself to hodl.